Welcome back. Week 8-ish updates. Can you believe it's been 2 months since we've closed? Um, so my update this week, I want to start with a question that I've gotten quite a lot over the last week, and it's a difficult one for me. And that is, who cut your hair and what did they do? So just to kind of put this issue to bed, I thought I would let's just take the hat off. Let's just get this over with. So all right. So now that we've got that taken care of, I think we can put this issue to bed. So let's get started. Chromebook updates. So obviously the pickup appointment calendar is available in the appointment system. Pickups have really picked up this week. The remote learning expectations that were communicated to families resulted in a traffic jam at Campbell on Monday morning of families picking up Chromebooks. So it's been fantastic. The team that's over at Campbell, if you ever go and visit them, please just give them a huge thanks. They really deserve it for being on the front lines and getting these devices out no matter what, rain or shine. But they have one ask for me, and that is to just ask that if you are going to go to Campbell and you want to pick up a large number of devices, that you just give us a heads up ahead of time. That allows them to get them ready ahead of time, get them configured for your students, and so that when you come, they can just load them right up in your car and get you in and out as fast as possible. So that's just all that we ask for. If you're coming over to Campbell, just give us a heads up. And then the repair form for students who need a repair, that's on the bostonpublicschools.org/laptop. Our repair time is getting better. I know that we can improve with our time to repair devices, but there's one thing that you can also do to help us out, and that is if you have some old Chromebooks in your schools, if you could help, if you have a chance to bring those over to Campbell on Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, that would be awesome. Those are being used for swaps. And just as a reminder, we really can't repair the device. We have to let it sit for a couple of weeks and let it decontaminate just in case. And so that's why it's super helpful to have any of your older devices in schools. As a reminder, we're going 1-to-1 next year. So pretty much anything that's old in your school is not going to be needed anymore. So it's best if we can get that to Campbell as soon as possible. That just helps us get our repair times up and or down and get kids back online. So thank you so much for those who've done that so far. Huge shout out to East Boston High and Charlestown High who have already brought over some Chromebooks. So thank you so much for that. Tech support. Obviously, the laptop repair form is in the bostonpublicschools.org/laptop. Parents will get a ticket. We'll respond to that ticket, give them a call, and find out what's going on. One thing I want to point out is that most of the issues that are coming in are actually not hardware issues. They're software issues that we can resolve over the phone. So another reason we want to minimize the number of laptops that get swapped through Campbell, because we can call families over the phone and hopefully get that resolved without having anybody to leave their house. The help desk had some pretty crazy wait times this week. We did have an influx of calls on Monday due to the new staff password or new staff attendance requirement. We had 480 phone calls to the help desk, which is usually 100 to 125 on any given day. So I do apologize if the wait time was a little bit long this week. It's going down every day. But that's just the reason for the volume this week. And then the new parent hotline, which has been advertised on the BPS main website, is a general COVID-19 hotline. If parents have questions about academics, behavioral health, English language learners, IT, they can make Chromebook appointments for families and support them with some basic troubleshooting. Huge shout out to the transportation department and the ELL office for helping us keep this staffed. We've got usually 12 people in the morning taking calls, 18 in the afternoon, and we're providing language translation support as best as we can. So that hotline is really ramped up, and we're starting to see the call volume from families go up. On that note, if you do want to advertise this to families, please go right ahead, but we just ask one thing, and that is don't send a robocall to say everybody call 8873, because the robocalls, when you advertise a number like this, will result in an influx of families calling at the exact same time, and that just means wait times for everybody. So 617-635-8873 is the general COVID-19 hotline or helpline for families. And you don't have to remember it. You just have to tell families it's on the front page of the Boston Public Schools website. So bostonpublicschools.org, and you'll see it right there in the announcement to families. So that's it for tech support. Troubleshooting hotspots. So the big issue that we found over the last week is that hotspots were delivered to families and the person delivering forgot to activate that hotspot with that form. I'll link that in the email to everybody, but just as a reminder, if you don't activate that hotspot, if you don't submit the student ID and the IMEI number in that hotspot, it will deactivate, and then it will send a message on there that says this hotspot has been deactivated. Please call the person or notify the person who delivered this to you. So that's really, really important. We've got almost about 1,000 of the Verizon hotspots out, and I think about 40 or 50 were delivered without being activated. So we're getting those resolved, but again, it just helps to fill out that form. And if you forgot or if you made a mistake or a typo, just fill the form out again and it will resolve itself. Now, hotspot troubleshooting, there's a little interesting thing that's happened, and it's not unique to hotspots, but it's Chromebooks not wanting to connect to the hotspot or not wanting to connect to the right network. So this is where I get into a little bit of a detail thing, and if this isn't for you, just feel free to skip ahead. When the Chromebooks are on the BPS network, when they're at school, we've set up the Chromebooks so that they are forced onto the BPS Wi-Fi network. That prevents a student from taking their Chromebook and connecting it to the neighbor's Wi-Fi. When they're at home, we can't do that. And we also don't know what every student's Wi-Fi network is. And so the student has to select the right Wi-Fi network. What I've seen happen in a few cases is the student will see Xfinity or they'll see their neighbors an open Wi-Fi network. And so then the Chromebook wants to connect to the neighbor or an open network instead of the hotspot or instead of the family's real internet. So in order to do that, I've got a couple of slides I'm going to show you, or a couple of screenshots I'm going to show you. I'm going to move myself up here. So this is the login screen of the Chromebook, right? And this arrow is pointing down to the Wi-Fi signal. And this is where you select what Wi-Fi network you want to be on. So when you click that one, I got to move it over here now. You now see I'm connected to this Wi-Fi network. And that's the Wi-Fi network that I'm connected to. Students might see that it's connected to Xfinity. And Xfinity, if you don't have a subscription, it may just lead to nothing or a login screen. So if I click that, and then I see all of the networks that are near me. So these are the networks that are near my home, and that's Tell My Wi-Fi, I love her, that's my Wi-Fi network. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to get this option to forget that network. If I click this one, it erases it from my Chromebook, and my Chromebook can start back over again with what network should I connect to. And that's where it might see the hotspot network and say, that's the network I know, I'm familiar with that one, so I'm going to connect to that one instead. So that's a little bit of a manual process, but you're telling the Chromebook, forget about this network. I'm sorry that I clicked on it. I'm sorry I tried to connect to it, but don't connect to it anymore. Click that forget button. And you may need to do that a few times if there's multiple networks that the student is trying to connect to. So what I've seen happen is the student doesn't know which network to connect the Chromebook to, so they just start picking all the networks. And if you're in a very, very busy neighborhood, you could see dozens of wireless networks, and the student may have tried to connect to all of them, anything that's open. And then the Chromebook is confused. It doesn't know, well, which network do you want me to connect to, even though it's the hotspot is sitting right next to it. So forget that network, eliminates it from the Chromebook, and then you are free to connect to a hotspot or your real Wi-Fi network. This is a really, really common problem when the Chromebook or with a Mac, if it sees multiple networks in a short area or a small area. All right, I'm going to move my face back over here. All right, so tips from working from home. We got some really cool training stuff going on this week. So there's Zoom facilitator training. Tips for keeping your facilitation or your Zoom meetings calm, cool, collected, and organized. We have Google for Little, so pre-K to 2 is a PD session geared towards younger teachers or younger grade levels and teachers of younger grade level students. Google Classroom Student View, so you can see exactly what the students are seeing. And then strategies for managing the online classroom and go slow versions of our more popular Google topics. So If some folks have found that some of our Google sessions were too much or too fast, we've got some slower versions out there. Now, these are all live trainings. Really, really excited to offer now a self-paced Google Apps training. So if you find that there's a session that you really want to go to, but it just doesn't meet with your schedule, we have a self-paced Google Docs or Google Apps course. It's offered in Google Classroom, and teachers can sign up and take that at their leisure at whatever time they want. So this is another self-paced edition in addition to the link training that is also self-paced for teachers. So that's it. And then I'll make sure to link in the email to this page, which is where all of our resources are. It's really linked right off of the main website. And then your virtual learning, you can see where can I find archived webinars. So any of the live sessions that we offered can now be viewed as a recording. And then what are the self-paced options? So there's the Go Google training, and then there's the Link Spring training as well. And then as always, there's our calendar of sessions for the week. So very, very busy week, some really awesome sessions if you get a chance to join. And then all of these will count towards your PD hours. All of these will count towards your 5 required. And then finally, Zoom licenses. So we are on a education promotion for Zoom, which gives us access to advanced, a little bit higher access than the free version of Zoom, but not the full access that you might get with some of the more advanced licensing. Just so you know, Zoom has a lot of different tiers of licensing. And so right now, everybody has a license that allows them for unlimited time and up to 100 users. So we've gotten some requests from schools who have very large staff or a very large student body or community for an upgraded license. And so we're in the process right now of buying an upgraded license for each principal that will allow them to have, it will bump them up from 100 to 250 users in your Zoom account. So that is in the works. I know a lot of principals have asked for something like this, especially the larger schools. But that is something that we can afford right now. So we're gonna buy and upgrade each principal's Zoom account from 100 to 250 participants. So I know that doesn't cover your entire student body, but on that note, we do want to start to transition. If you wanted to start to do some live webinars to your entire student body, we also want to talk about some of the other technologies offline around how to do that safely, because Zoom licensing for meetings may not be the right platform for you to use if you're going to broadcast to 1,000 people. But hopefully that 250 upgrade will help a few schools out. And by the way, I don't know when the Zoom promo is going to end, but our Zoom licensing that we're going to buy is going to be a year, at least a year license. So when this is all over and the main Zoom account expires, these advanced ones will be for principals moving forward. Now, this is what I'm really, really excited about. So YouTube. So YouTube is the best and worst website out there for teachers. It has the best educational content. It has the best instructional content you could ever get. And it is a rabbit hole of terrible, inappropriate, terrible, awful things. And the challenge we have with YouTube is that Google really values their security and encryption, and it makes it difficult for us to tell the difference between a good and a bad video. So what we've been doing behind the scenes is we've been building out a new approval process for YouTube, and I want to show you what this looks like, because we're going to start this week testing with a couple of schools. So let's jump over. On the left side of my screen is a teacher's account. This is an example, logged into YouTube. And on the right side is a student's account. So this is the exact same video. This is a Fortnite video. Sorry. And you can see that the teacher is logged in. And they're
tournament on my own for the very first time. I didn't know how it was going to go. All I knew was that the tournament was...
And the student, in this new version, it will be restricted. And so this is going to give us... The first thing it's going to do is it's going to lock down the vast majority of YouTube, so that the videos, if they're not in the education channel, if they're not already categorized as educational by YouTube, they will be restricted and unavailable. But what's great is, well, and I know your first reaction is going to be, but teachers then can't use YouTube in their classroom. Well, this is what's great. Any teacher who logs in, and they're going to see this button, this banner at the bottom that says video is not approved for bostonbookschools.org, and there's a button to click approve. Now watch how fast. I'm going to click approve, and I'm going to refresh this student's account, and that video is now accessible to students to view. It is a district-wide approval, so that teacher, when they approve a video, it's approved for the entire district. So you don't have to have every single teacher approve all of their videos. If a teacher comes in and say, hey, somebody has approved this video, it really shouldn't be, that approve button is now remove. And so I hit remove, that video, and I refresh it, is instantly unavailable to students. So this is the new YouTube approval process that we've been building out. We're getting ready to test it in a couple of schools over the next week, and we'd like to roll this out to all teachers and all students as fast as possible. What this does mean, though, is we need to communicate this to everybody around what that blue banner means and what it means to students. This is not restricting teachers at all. Whatsoever, we do not want to restrict teachers in what they can or cannot view. Teachers will have unrestricted access to YouTube. This is just an approval process for teachers to approve the videos that their students have access to. So hopefully this will make it easier and faster, but more importantly, safer for us to use YouTube virtually and when we come back to school. So that's it for me. You'll be hearing in the next week or two about our timeline for this to be rolled out. And until then, I will see you online.